Chris Gotti Lorenzo, and this is Givin Them The Business with my partner, Don Dinero.
Que hola, you already know. Two
Que hola. That's the album right there.
That's the album. That's the classic.
Album.
Yeah, actually, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, we're
gonna
talk about that too.
But hey, it's a pleasure to be here, and Chris, we're gonna get into it real quick because we were talking, and we're gonna talk about the big C, and it ain't Cuban Connection. It's that COVID-19.
Someone told me it's Bovin.
You know, the Bovin. Oh yeah, you can't say the C, right?
No. Someone told me, someone hit me today and said, yo, you got Bovin.
Listen, so COVID has kind of come in and has affected the economy in so many ways.
Yeah, someone's getting that money.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna real quick grab a couple of things that happened in the economy starting 2020 where people were forced to stay home. They were given
stimulus checks.
They were giving stimulus checks. What's that when you work? Where's that when they give you when you work? Unemployment. They got unemployment checks, stimulus checks, PPP. They were giving a lot of money was flushed into the economy, but the irony is they're pumping people full of money, but they can't go outside and use it. So industries were created like Uber Eats was created out of nowhere. A lot of people buying food at home. That was a business that was created out of that. The consumption of Netflix and the streaming platforms. Now all of a sudden, now you have Apple TV and you have all these other different things. The music industry. I mean, I think a lot of people started using Instagram Live. There's a lot of things that came out of going live from your house and telling people what's going on because of COVID. So from, I have a saying in IFA, from someone, de algo peor que sucede algo mejor, from something worse when something good occurs. So I think that different industries and businesses occurred. I think the Amazon business tripled just because people were still shopping because they had excess money and they couldn't go outside and use it. Yeah. So I think the online digital business, I think the streaming business, I think they finally, this year they made money. Remember, we mentioned 2020, they finally made money. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think a lot of the people being home and just listening to music and trying to create that atmosphere had a lot to do with it. So I think COVID affected so many aspects of our lives, but at the same time, there were a lot of millionaires and billionaires and people that took it as an opportunity to make money. The content creation, we talk about industries like Clash TV and different things.
I was talking about PPE earlier, you know, I think he was saying PPP, but PPE, you know, the gear, the masks. Think of all the money generated from the masks, the gloves, everything.
I created masks.
Even the solution, what's that, the solution you use to wipe
the hands to the sanitation.
Sanitizer, all of that. Think of how much billions of dollars is being generated from those industries, all because of COVID. Think now every store you walk in has to have gloves or masks on deck. So if you don't have one, we have one for you. Here you go. Yes. They have to provide it. Every business has that now. So this is a whole new generational set of wealth that is now occurring, you know, in this PPE space. You know, I know hospitals that was going through over 1 billion gloves a week. You know, that's unbelievable when you think about the numbers that they're doing, just a hospital. Like, you know, and when you think about the nurses, how many times they have to change their gloves every time they go into a new room, masks. You know, it's so much little things that are overseen or you're not even thinking about, but it's actually leading to billions and billions of dollars being generated. One of the biggest things that I would love to find out who's behind is all these shots. Yes. You know, Pfizer, Moderna, you know, Johnson & Johnson. Who's paying for all these shots that are free that everyone's getting?
I think the government is cutting the check. I think that has to be the end game. And nobody giving nothing for free. That's
why would the government? And then if that's
because the government is passing on to the taxpayer the bill at the end of the day with the $1 trillion, $1 billion packages, and they're saying, hey, we're gonna take care. This is the play. This is my end game. This is just me sitting back smoking a fat one, saying, what's the end game here? The government is saying, hey, our job is to take care of all our citizens. Now, we live in democracy, but we live in a capitalistic democracy where it's all about money, right? So we're going to market this and play it as long. I know it's a long play when I see vans that are wrapped COVID-19 testing, portable vans that can move anywhere.
Yeah.
That's a long play. No one's putting up money for a company. They're going to be COVID testing us for a long time. You don't do a play where you see a bunch of companies, they're all over the place. Every pharmacy has it. Took my son today to get his Pfizer shot because it's the only way he can go. He's being recruited for football. It's the only way he can have those overnight official visits.
Right.
Because the universities have those pressures. So the pressure and the mandates,
have to get
the political mandates to go to work, to go to school, the political mandates. The new mayor in New York City says he's going to mandate shots for kids. Mm-hmm. The play is with keeping everyone safe, which is dope. It's the idea is good. The mandate, when you're forcing someone to take something, that's the bad part, right? Where you're forcing someone, you're not giving options. Then there's two sides of the coin. If I'm vaccinated and you're not vaccinated, then for some reason you're not doing your justice society. I think Biden mentioned something about you're not a patriot if you don't get your shot. So that's kind of the play where...
Sounds a little racist to me, but I won't get into it.
Again, that's a whole nother topic, but in COVID, race does matter because it's affecting certain demographics more than others.
The reason I bring up racist is because racism is about not allowing someone to have the freedom or the right to make a choice. So when I hear this is exactly the same thing, but it's in a shot form, and you're saying if you don't get it, you're almost ostracized from the public or for the people, right. And that to me is wrong. I'm not pro-vaccination and I'm not against vaccination. I'm pro-choice. Meaning whatever you want to do, you should do it. If you feel it's best for you and your family, you do it. If you feel it's not, it's okay. You know, I still don't know any part of this civilization we've ever been part of that the government, the United States of America, has tried to save us and help us. As a people, whenever you found out they did something for the people, it was because their agenda was way bigger. Right. It wasn't because they was trying to help. Again, so at the end of the day, I just sit back and I say, I don't know a day and time when the government was ever here to really help you in that sense.
Again, I think these are just challenges that as citizens of this country, but I think as a world, a new word has been thrown at us a year and a half ago called COVID. They added the number 19 and 20. Now we're dealing with the Delta variant, the Omicron, right,
Omarion.
Well, yeah, that one.
Shout out to Omarion.
Yeah, shout you out. So what I'm saying is that the next one could be the Soldier Boy. We don't know, right? So at the end of the day, we just know that they're throwing all these names at us. And I remember a time, and I'm pretty sure you remember a time, when either kids would get sick at school or there was something going around in the factory that 2 or 3 people would get sick. People would say, hey, there's a bug going around. Be careful, wipe your hands. There's a bug. I think there's bugs going around. I think it's flu season. I don't want to get too much on this topic because it's at the end of the day, it's people's health and it's touchy, you know.
Yeah,
people's family have passed away or they've been, so I don't want to see and tell you, go get the shot. You know, the irony is, all my kids have been, I haven't taken the vaccine because I kind of, I'm an introvert, even though I'm in an extrovert type of business. I'm always kind of secluded. But, all my kids have had to take the shot. They're good. I think it's choice. If I had to take the shot to do a business move, I probably would go take the shot. I don't think there's anything conspiracy theory. They're just trying to, but I've kind of,
I agree 1,000%.
I've kind of kept it natural and I've taken care of myself and I've been blessed to, if I did catch it, it was probably last year sometime during this time that I was kind of sick, and my body built the antibodies and we're good to go.
Look, I just got through it.
There it is. So,
I just got through it.
But you probably, again, the flu.
I'm blessed.
We're all blessed.
At the end of the day, the reality again is it's a very small amount of people that will be dealing with the fatality of it. The rest will get through it.
But it's affected the business aspect of everyone. I think so many people took that unemployment money and became, say, YouTube content creators and never looked back.
Never looked back.
Again, the business of content creating in the COVID era has created a ton of millionaires, entrepreneurs. I think there's that one kid that, I think he's the African-American kid, the black, he just stands there and he puts a meme up and he doesn't say anything. You see his story, he was unemployed, like he got kicked out, he was running out of money, an idea, now he's worth 2 or 3 million, right?
Nice.
Because he's monetized. whether it's through YouTube or through everything else. So I think during this COVID era, there's been a lot of great business too that has come out of it. What do you think?
Absolutely, man. There's so much creativity that comes because of whenever we're put into us as a people into a corner, man, we are always survivors all the time. And we will come out with creativity and new ways, new things, perseverance.
Didn't Versus come out of this? Wasn't Versus created because of this?
Versus came out of this because of, again, you're stuck at home, nothing to do, and you have that culture, you have that environment. This energy is just waiting to erupt, and for the freedom to get back to the normalcy of everything, and that's the flip side to that coin is like get the shots, and we're still not out of normalcy, and you can't tell me that it's because the unvaccinated, because then what's the purpose of being vaccinated if it doesn't protect you or save you? You can't tell me the unvaccinated is making you worse.
I think it's perception.
But it's really opposite, honestly, when you get into the science of it. The vaccinated is more dangerous than the unvaccinated to the unvaccinated versus the other way around. And that is the problem.
Again, I still don't think in less than a year, it's been a year and a half, there's even enough research for that. My biggest thing is saying, hey, this is the world we're living in today. How this is global, right? So if I'm living in the state of Florida, I'm not dealing with half of the mandates and protocols that I'm dealing if I live in New York City.
Right.
So this is my thing. It's not like it's
Are you trying to tell Kyrie to go play for the Miami Heat?
No.
Okay,
no, because
sure what
I'm saying is that when we discuss leadership, political views, it has a lot to do with what state you live in,
yes,
how you're being programmed in that state, right? Because if you're programmed in a specific state saying, hey, if you don't take the shot, you're a bad person, you might feel a certain way. Some people are being mandated. That means they're being forced. Yeah. And what's the give up? I have to give up this job that I have a pension. I've been working for 20, 30 years. I can't afford to do that. A lot of medical people, the ones that helped us get through the initial COVID, have quit their jobs. But then I hear there's states like Florida saying, hey, we need you, come over here. And they're giving them great packages. And so there's states now, what they call them red and blue, depending on you're a Democrat or Republican.
We see it on
right,
the road.
But there's states that are saying, hey, if you don't like what's going on, say in New York City or whatever, come to our state, right? So now what I'm saying is that I don't want to pin what makes this country great, and this is why this COVID debate is what makes this country
That's
great.
Why it's a hot topic.
But I'm going to tell you what makes this country great to me personally is that 51, if there's 100 people here, 51 voted for this guy, 49 hate him. Right? So there's always that split. You're never going to see 90% of the people voted for. So even when Obama was president, it was still 51-49. It was 51 loved him, 40 blind hated him. Trump, same thing, 51-49.
You get a bigger slide.
No, but what I mean is that what makes it
close. Even I remember Reagan. Reagan had a huge win. Like, he wasn't close. So there's definitely presidents that get a bigger percentage of Obama's first term for sure. Second term got a little tighter, but it was still big. It wasn't close. You still get that. But at the end of the day, that divide, that red and blue statewise, like you're talking.
But that's the whole divide. It's the keepers.
The Republican is so bad.
Yes.
It's not good for the public. It's not good for the people. For the people. This is what it's about.
It affects. For example, a lot of the COVID protocols. My daughter got caught up in the COVID protocols in New York City, and her being having her classes at 305 Miami Fitness, they had to close down a bunch of schools. Economics were affected, but then she went online and started doing online classes with donations, and that kind of worked out. So again, out of something terrible, something good always occurs. So I think out of all this and all this fighting, whether it's Biden, Obama, Trump, whatever is going on from a leadership standpoint, I think us still as day-to-day citizens, look at what we're able to come up with and kind of give our opinions
Again, COVID is a huge business. Huge business as far as on all sides of the fence from a business standpoint. Yes, you will have negative, but you will also have positive. So some businesses flourished, some didn't. But on the government side, again, I still don't understand where's all the money. There's so much money being pumped into COVID. It's unbelievable. And these are things I always call them. These are like little secrets. Right now, they just legalized sports in New York City.
Yes, huge. Okay.
So that the reason I bring that up is because where's that money going? Where's that tax dollar going? See, the lotto was meant for schools and roads and highways. And our streets are the worst in the freaking country. And we have all this money being spent in lotto. It's like, how come we don't have free schooling from all the money generated? Someone is stealing at the highest level. And it's the same for me with COVID. It's like there's too much money, trillions of dollars. Someone's got their hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, I mean, the rape and the pillage game will always be there.
And like I said, they're just going to keep telling you can keep getting free shots. Someone has to pay for these shots. Where's the money? And where's it going? And who's benefiting from it? Because
I think when they assigned the emergency, the Emergency Act I think that there's a check behind that to Pfizer, to these companies.
Of course.
You know, they're sitting, these big CEOs are sitting with the government saying, hey, we got you. When do you need the shot ready?
When you need your next shipment. Yeah.
Hey, send it there. Hey, that's the account number. Yeah. Send it there. So it's big business. At the end of the day, we're talking about, we're giving you the business because at the end of the day, you're all affected. It's big business. I see on Instagram saying, hey, when they're going to give us some more stimulus checks. No, it ended up turning into money and a business. People have changed their lives by staying home. Some people find themselves, they got a ton of bread and then they spent it all on Gucci bags and whatever, and they find themselves still in that situation, right? So, I just feel like COVID's here to stay because it's big business.
Yeah.
Big business. At the same time.
But when will it be over?
It's not going to be over because we don't discuss the flu anymore. We used to talk about the flu. Now it's...
Why didn't we discuss the flu anymore?
I have no idea. I don't think this episode we put on YouTube will be seen a lot anyway because of all this shit we're talking about, but that's a whole different...
Right.
Clash TV. But, at the end of the day, I just feel like COVID is big business for artists. Mm-hmm. It helped unleash a lot of opportunities. I think one of the guys who did really well doing this was Fat Joe. Big
Shout
show.
Out Fat Joe.
What's up, Joe? The big show. He doesn't do it as much anymore because he's not inside as much.
Joker now.
Yeah, but when he was inside every day, he had something to give us, and the people were tuned in. Yeah. Is what I'm saying. But through there, created a lot of other opportunities. Sure. Today's price.
It's not yesterday's price.
And you know what's crazy? It works both ways, though. We've seen artists go up. Yeah. And then yesterday's price was $100,000 a show. Today's fucking $1,200 to walk through, right? It's a $1,200 walk through in a bottle, right? So it works both ways. So I think that, I want everyone to stay safe out there. I think one of the, exercise, I think the 3 levels, that they don't preach that we want to be able to preach is one of the ways you can stay healthy. If you want to go get the shot, I say get the shot, get the booster, get everything you need that's going to help you. But at the same time, I think you need to exercise, meditate, sleep well, drink a lot of water, surround yourself with people that love you. There's a lot of different aspects of your life because I think a lot of people, a lot of people who've gotten COVID and gotten really sick have had other issues with their health. And I think that's one of the things that we need to state,
That's 1,000%.
So, you already know. Don't get COVID.
This is the COVID giving them the business.
Giving them the business. COVID is big business, homie.
It's that time again.
Se acabó, finito.
Thank you for tuning in.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
And don't forget to leave a comment.
Squeaky.